welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Davis, and Chris Branch. The 10-minute daily podcast where we strip off all the techie talk around generative AI and relate it to the fellow marketers, content creators, and the everyday person. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, so we can only focus on one particular subject. And today's subject, well, I'm not even going to mention it. Chris, I'll let you introduce it. What are we going to be talking about today?
Yeah, so we're talking about the horse race of image generation tools, and the race has just really heated up with a new entry that nobody saw coming in Dall-E 3, and I had a very quick play with it over the weekend. It's not fully launched yet, so we're just using this episode to get our initial thoughts out about it, having played with it literally a tiny amount, because as soon as it was available, it got really clogged up and then was working very slowly, so had a very limited play with it, and so far it's looking incredible.
Yeah, it's, from what I've seen, I've had a very quick play with it as well. The gap between where Dall-E 2 is and looks like Dall-E 3 is they've closed the, well, we'll even say closed the gap. They've literally got rid of the gap and might as well be a completely new product.
Yeah,
that good a jump.
It's just a giant leap in like capability of accuracy of image, also quality of image. But what we're seeing right now and playing around with is not even the normal interface that Dall-E has. So it had loads of cool features that lots of other platforms copied, like in painting and other things in Dall-E 2. So when we do get the full version of Dall-E 3, what we're just seeing is, a very limited ability to use it right now inside of Bing chat, basically. So yeah, it's fascinating that even just dabbling with it a little bit, we know now that the original images that were released by OpenAI were definitely not too cherry picked, as in it is definitely capable of doing those things. And even if you want to, you can go and look at the image prompts that OpenAI has on their website, copy them over to Bing chat word for word, and see how quick, accurately you can get to the image they shared. And it's pretty there. It's like 90% there. So that's pretty good going.
Wow. So let's just break this down slightly. So what we want to be able to do is, if you're listening to this right now, if they haven't released it officially, do you know the URL that people can go to get to this particular page?
Yeah, it's just bing.com/create. Yeah. And if you have a Microsoft account, then you'll be able to log in and then have a quick go. They'll give you 100 free credits. But like I said, this is just the stripped down version of Dall-E. It's not really the full experience. It's just they put it in there first before they launched it into ChatGPT, probably to test a little bit to make sure it's got no bugs before they launch it to 1 billion plus users in ChatGPT. So that's going to be a bit different.
And if you look at the history of these image generators, obviously this is Dall-E 3, so people might be thinking, what happened to Dall-E 2 and Dall-E 1, if there even was a Dall-E 1. So Dall-E 2, that was the main one that was around, at least for the last 8-9 months, probably even more, that people were using when it comes to OpenAI. And the reason why they were using it is because OpenAI obviously owns ChatGPT, and that it's that connection. But the image generator that seemed to be the industry standard was Midjourney. Now, Midjourney is, they've had numerous variations. So you obviously had Midjourney 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.1, 5.2, 5.3/7, 8th. Like there's all these versions that they've done. Every little feature update seems to be a new version. But right now, what's your thoughts on Dall-E 3 compared to Midjourney right now?
Well, the really exciting thing is that it's jumped all the way up to at least version 5 of Midjourney.
Well,
and it's got additional things that Midjourney doesn't have, like the ability to add 2 separate characters into one generation. Midjourney really struggles with this and will fuse the 2 characters together based on the prompt that you give it. So try not to overcomplicate the process for anyone brand new to this. Essentially, you add some keywords into the AI, and then it tries to create an image for you. And Dall-E is able to separate out those keywords that you ask for and create multiple versions of that inside the image it gives you. And also it's able to generate text as well. So this is another feature that we haven't seen Midjourney being able to do. It just spits out nonsense text that doesn't look like any sort of language at all. It just looks like gibberish on the screen. So this is another big user experience update for those people that want to create images with text inside of them.
Yeah, I would say the three areas that I've heard from a lot of people when it comes to Midjourney that they wish they would improve. One was the characters. So if you don't know what we meant by the characters, it's like saying I want to generate a prompt or an image with the prompt Tyson Fury and I don't know, AJ, and they're both in the picture. Where before it never really could do well, especially first few times to get it. So that's the first thing people were saying. But you said Dall-E 3 is really does a good job. The second thing, text. This was a huge thing, and this was always what held Midjourney back. It was I've got this idea, I want to do this sign, I want to create a poster, I want to do whatever, but I need text, and it didn't have text. Well, it did, but it didn't make sense. It didn't read well, and that was the second thing. But it seems to me that Dall-E 3 has managed to get text really well. The third thing was getting hands. I don't know. Have you tried it with hands? Yeah. So it looks like in Dall-E 3, you're going to have 4 fingers and a thumb. Where in Midjourney, you might have 6 fingers. You might have fingers coming out your arm. You might not have a thumb. That seems to be the third one, which is good. But quickly going back to text, because this for me it was key. You were playing recently with another tool. What was that one?
Ideogram. So you mentioned earlier we've been through a bit of a back and forth between these different image generators, and Dall-E 1 was 3 years old, and it really made the first headlines. And then Midjourney came out about 2 years ago, and then we had Stable Diffusion, which is an open source model, and then we've had Ideogram come out in the last sort of 3 or 4 months. And the thing that Ideogram solved was this idea of adding text in an image harmoniously, so that you could even say in speech bubbles what the text that you wanted in your image to say. And it was definitely much more accurate than Midjourney was, but it didn't have Midjourney's level of version 5 quality to the images either. Sort of look more cartoonish and sort of sticker like. So Dall-E has come in and done both. It's now photorealistic and has the ability to create text. So Ideogram, like we talked about in an episode before, is going to be one of those features, maybe not a platform. It's going to be a really hard struggle unless they again one up the quality level to match version 5 and Dall-E 3 of Midjourney. It's going to be difficult for them.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to listen to when we were talking about it before, it's the episode, Are These New AI Businesses Set Up for Failure? Because it seems to be that, again, when you break down, are they creating a feature or a whole platform? It seems to me that they've kind of based it on a feature, which seems to be, I wouldn't say easy, but, it didn't take Dall-E 3 long to sort out the text issue. Yeah. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if Midjourney in one of their latest updates, whether it be version 6 or 5.7, whatever it may be, will have some form of ways that you can generate text as well.
Yep. So, in conclusion to this episode, and in a nutshell, the race is on for image generators. We thought we had a clear winner in Midjourney, but the race is definitely on.
Yes, heating up. It's heating up. Watch this.